What's up, guys? Welcome back to Win by Two. I'm Chris.
I'm Bar.
And today we're going to talk about why the Spurs have to rebuild right now.
Right now.
Alright, so we know that Timmy retired.
Yeah.
He was still putting up some really good numbers this last season.
In very limited minutes, but
yeah,
yes,
exactly.
when he played.
Do you think Pau Gasol is the perfect replacement for him?
It's good for a stopgap. I don't know. It's no long-term fix. I mean, they both provide the similar type of
Pau's
things.
what, like 34, 35 right now?
Somewhat like that.
He put up, last season he put up 16 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 blocks. That's still really solid.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's definitely going to get those same minutes in San Antonio. Because who else are they going to give those big man minutes besides LaMarcus?
Yeah, there's a lack of depth there. So I think he should definitely be there. He'll definitely be a playmaker on that team as well.
Because they lost Boban from last year. Even though he only played like 5-10 minutes, I feel like he could have had a bigger role on this San Antonio team.
Yeah.
They got David Lee, who I don't know what he can offer anymore. Maybe like a 10 points, 5 rebounds type of guy.
He'll be a scoring option off the bench.
Yeah, possibly.
They lost Boris Diaw, another bad
That's very
playmaker.
true too.
A big
just
playmaker.
to sign Pau, which I mean is an upgrade from Boris, but still,
Yeah.
that's a loss of depth right there. But okay, so do you think Kawhi and LaMarcus is a good enough core right now to rebuild?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to get rid of LaMarcus at this point. I mean, per 100 possessions, he had 30 points, 14 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Real effective, still kind of in his prime.
Was he an All-Star last year?
He was, I'm pretty sure.
He was an All-Star.
So, I mean, the numbers are still there. The problem is, it's hard to, he's in his prime right now. Kawhi is still entering it.
Kawhi's what, 24, 25?
No, I think he's like 22, 22, 23.
He is not 22.
Yeah, right? You're on the roster.
Kawhi Leonard, 25. Yeah.
25.
Okay, he's 25. But the dude is definitely a lot younger than LaMarcus.
I think 31.
He's 31.
Yeah.
LaMarcus is already 2 more seasons of LaMarcus putting up these same numbers. He had 18 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists last season. I give him 2 more seasons of putting up those numbers or better, and then after that it's just gonna decline.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so if we take the playoffs for instance, and what had happened was OKC had used their athleticism to really get by their bigs, get by anyone. They got a lack of depth at the guard position. You have Tony, who's
like 34 right now.
Yeah, clearly declining. His points have dropped the last few years. His minutes has dropped. Obviously, that's Pop doing his thing. But
Kyle Anderson's his main backup.
Yeah, Kyle Anderson. We yet to see what he can provide.
Patty Mills is there as well.
Yeah, Patty Mills is a solid player, always a solid backup.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem is, I think they don't have enough to win right now, right? I mean,
now I feel like everything would be a lot different right now if they were actually able to pry Mike Conley away from.
Yeah, if they had another solid guard that was able to play 2 ways, you wouldn't have that problem. You'd have a big 3 that you can go after Golden State with.
Okay, so you want to trade LaMarcus?
I would trade LaMarcus.
Who do you want for LaMarcus? Do you want draft picks? Do you want a young stud right now? Do you want like a Jaylen Brown type of player?
I think. Well, if you get the draft pick, you go for the draft pick. But if you can package with Boston, I think you do that. Boston's always still looking for another star to pair with Horford.
Hey, you heard it here first, guys.
So
LaMarcus to Boston.
So I mean, there's things that needs to be done, right? If you're looking at the Western Conference right now, it's Golden State and then it's the rest of the group.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you could put the Spurs in that.
I don't put the Spurs in the top 2.
Yeah, I don't.
Possibly top 3. Definitely top 4.
And they play for the season at this point, right? In the playoffs, the stars win the league. Mm-hmm. So at this point, when you had Russell and Kevin Durant creating havoc for that defense, it was like they couldn't stop it. Mm-hmm. Because it was just like they played team defense, but sometimes you have a couple superstars that can just get anything they want. And they were so athletic everywhere.
Honestly, their age just really showed.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And this team was built for the past, 7 years? This, super core of not Pau.
Kawhi, Tony, Timmy.
Well, Kawhi just came, but Tim, Tony, and Manu was this core that they had created and built around with team-oriented basketball, moving the basketball, playing solid defense. Thing is, when you got so much, and the game is shifting so that it's going outside, right?
Yeah.
So now if you have to cover more than 30 feet in the room, or not in the room, I mean on the court, it becomes an issue. It becomes an issue to where how he's, if you're asking Tony to guard pick and rolls with LaMarcus is not as quick laterally.
And Tony's getting old, so he's not going to stay in front of Steph Curry.
Yeah, and you got Pau Gasol's not doing that either. They're good rim protectors, but that's if you can funnel the offense into the rim, or to the rim, force them to make contested layups. But if they're just shooting threes.
All right, so I'm the Spurs GM. I'm offering you LaMarcus.
Yeah.
Who are you giving me?
I mean, at this point, you might have to. It depends, right? If you're Boston, right? Boston's probably a piece away from really contending in that Eastern Conference. You got to give up probably a top 3 pick.
Jaylen Brown.
You'd probably give up Jaylen Brown. You'd probably throw in the Brooklyn pick.
I think Jaylen Brown, the Brooklyn pick, and a couple extra little pieces like a Terry Rozier, or like whatever guard. They have so many guards in Boston. I think like a couple of those guys, and Jaylen Brown being the main piece. I feel like
the rebuild has to start because they're not winning next year, right?
Yeah.
And Pau Gasol is not going to solve this issue that they had. They signed Dedmon, who's pretty good. Obviously
he's not gonna do anything.
He's a solid backup center.
He's a 10th, 11 man type of player.
Well, at this point, he'll be able to be shined as a backup center. He hasn't had that opportunity in Orlando.
This guy got faith in Dwayne Dedmon.
Yeah, I mean, Jonathan Simmons is a pretty good story. He's a great defender.
Yeah.
Kyle Anderson's a pretty good playmaker.
They got all these washed up players like Andre Miller, Kevin Martin, David Lee, Manu.
Yeah, they signed all these specialty players, and the problem is they still need a lot of people that can play both ways. And I don't think you get that with David Lee. I don't think you get that with Manu. I don't think you get that with all these veterans that they signed, Kevin Martin. These guys are all specialty players who can either do one side or the other, or like rebounding. And that's their issue right now. I think that the lack of depth and their lack to play both ways is going to be an issue.
All right, well, you heard it here first, guys. The Spurs need to rebuild right now.
Right now.
Until next time, guys. Peace.
Adios.